Hey there, Nate here with the Volunteer Tech Vlog on the Live Sound 101 YouTube channel. Appreciate it if you subscribe, if you like this content. If you want to hear somebody talk candidly about pro audio and the adventures of doing live sound in the church tech world, that's what this vlog is all about. So you can come along for a ride in the passenger seat here, and we will talk shop. So this is a media report. One of the types of vlog videos I do is a report, which is really for my own sanity and to document things that have happened and to give myself little benchmarks and milestones to look back on and to improve. Continual improvement is what I'm after. So this is a media report for 3/20/2016. So March 20th, 2016. I'm recording it a few days later because, as you can probably tell, I was like sick as a dog the past few days. So I'm just getting over it. You can probably still hear it in my voice a little bit. But anyway, I just figured I would hold off on recording a video where I wasn't completely, my voice wasn't completely gone. So the first thing I wanted to note was rehearsal, the max dB. So I've been getting in the habit of hitting the maximum reset button on our dB SPL meter, which is fixed at the back of the room, or the microphone for which is fixed at the back of the room. I reset that every time I come in there for a rehearsal or for a service, just so I can see, okay, what do we max out at? And I found that that's very helpful to kind of know where we are. So during rehearsal on Saturday night, we hit 94 dB SPL A-weighted as measured from that location. And then Sunday morning rehearsal, we hit 93. And then the 8 a.m. service, and keep in mind, I'm tweaking the mix throughout this whole process. 8 a.m. service, we hit 92.6. So you can see a trend downward. 92.6 dB SPL A-weighted during the 8 a.m. And then during the 10:45, we hit 94. So I did notice a difference between levels in the 8 a.m. service and the 10:45. That didn't come from me. So there was a change. It could have been performance intensity. It could have been that there were simply more people in the room singing, or it could have been that musicians turned their gain up just slightly. Maybe a bass player, a guitar player, whatever the situation was. I do know that we hit 94 during a guitar solo. So, and that was partially me riding the fader a little bit to make sure his guitar solo came through. But in doing so, we kind of hit that. So that max 94, I know exactly where that happened. But there could have been other things contributing to that as well. So that's dB levels, kind of where we were at. The wooden floor monitor. So we've got some Community XLT41s. And the one that has serial number 253655 now has a new 12-inch driver. So that driver and that floor monitor, fold back monitor, went. So the horn was working, but the 12-inch driver was not putting out sound. Guy diagnosed it for us. We ordered a new one, called up the manufacturer, ordered a new one. It came in, popped it in, worked like a charm, off and running again. Not quite sure how it failed. I'm still curious to learn more about the nature of its failure. There visually was nothing wrong with the driver. There was no separation between the cone and geez, I don't even know the right terminology, but there was no physical damage. There's no separation between the cone and the outside of the driver. So not sure exactly how it failed or why, but that's something we probably should figure out. Okay, so that's the monitor. So that one with that serial number has a new driver. The other one is just original, way back when we first purchased it. Turned down the amp. Okay, so here we go. This is, I mentioned this in a previous video. So we turned down the amp. We noticed that it was cranked up a little bit too much, and the floor monitor noise went down, and we bypassed the graphic EQ. And that thing was actually, we've got some gain staging issues that I've got to set aside time to troubleshoot, and I just haven't had time to do that. But we do have to set aside time to do just some little some tweaking to gain stages in our So after I turned down the amplifier and bypassed the graphic EQ, it sounded, the floor monitor mix sounded pristine. So it sounded like it should sound. We had this kind of weird low-level noise kind of always there in the system. And I think I actually talked about this in numerous videos if you go back and look at these reports. And it's just been kind of one of those lingering things in the background. Oh, I should figure out where all that noise is coming from. I'll get to it sometime. And there's so much to do and so little time, so we've got to figure that out. So anyway, that was great. A big win for audio quality. First time using the Countryman E6 Omni. So we had some E6, I'm sorry, some Countryman hypercardioid, and they were getting real beat up. One of them got broke, like one of them was a casualty of VBS last year. So after VBS, it just no longer worked anymore. So something bad happened to it. And then the other one that we had that the pastors were sharing, the two pastors, Pete and John, were sharing, was just getting ratty and beat up. And those guys like to put kind of a medical tape to like kind of tape the cables down to their neck and their face and stuff. And after a while, that just gets real gunky. And it was like getting like a green color, and like a little ear piece that like clamps to your ear was kind of bent and like degrading. So it was just yikes. So it was time for some new ones. So we had some Countryman E6 Omnis that had the wrong XLR connector on the end, so they didn't work with our body packs. And they were like brand new. Somebody donated them years ago, and we never used them because we didn't have the right connector. So I ordered a couple of the adapter cables from Countryman. So it's got this kind of like disconnect thing, this little like snap, where you can like snap a cable into the specific microphone. And I just ordered the right one that would fit our XLR mini. We've got those Shure body packs that accept the 4-pin mini XLR. So I needed to get that version. So I did, and so those sounded great. I think they sounded really good. I think I want to tweak the EQ a little bit just because our system is a little funny, but overall very happy with that. So I've got two little packs made up, one for Mike, one for John and one for Pete. And I just wrote, one of them prefers the lefty ear worn mic, and one of them prefers the righty ear worn mic. Lefty, righty, left, right. Anyway, that's just the little distinction there between preferences. So what I'm trying to do is set up like a little there's like these little zipper pouches, and I want to have one that's like dedicated for each pastor. And so anyway, we've got Pete's and John's all set up. I still need to work on Mike's, and then it'll be nice because then we can keep things clean and neat and organized, and have little kits that are in their places and ready to go. That'll be nice. Next, so donation of 2 Asus 24-inch monitors. So we got 2 new 1080p monitors, which will be great. I think we're gonna use them for Software Audio Console to get some dual monitors up there for the audio mix station, because the ones we have now are failing. There's some funny little things happening. But then we also need another monitor at the I don't know if it has to be at the video workstation, but we need to mirror the stage display. So we might have actually a 3-monitor setup over there. Or we could have a monitor just in the rack, just to glance over and get a visual reference of the stage display. So I'm not sure exactly where those two will be used yet, but it's great to have that problem to figure out where to use them, because we definitely do need to use them. So yeah, I had talked about dB levels. 1045 hit 94 during the guitar solo. And the bass seemed to get louder during the second service too. So that's really all I had for a report for March 20th, 2016. And it looks like I'm almost up to my recording time limit here before the phone actually shuts off. So I'm gonna drive just a little bit here. But thank you for tuning in to this media report. I hope you found it helpful. And like I said before, if you enjoy listening to somebody talk candidly about pro audio and live sound, consider subscribing to the Live Sound 101 YouTube channel. I'll see you in the next video.